damage to the defendant's motor vehicle, but no closed or open containers in his motor vehicle. The officer made contact with the defendant at Katy Memorial for Mental Hospital. The defendant stated that on March 8th, 2025 at 6 p.m. he was drinking at a friend's house. The defendant stated he drank until 4 a.m. the next morning. He admitted to driving under the influence, resulting in a major accident. The defendant had visible scrapes and injuries on his face, arms, and legs.
All right, Mr. De Los Santos, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine because of the high blow. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 9th, 2025, at approximately 6:34 a.m., an officer responded to a major accident on the 6100th block of North Fry Road in Harris County, Texas. The officer made contact with the witness, who was traveling south on North Fry Road and stopped at an intersection of West Little York Road, and he began to drive. When the light turned green, he was struck from behind. He exited his motor vehicle and observed the defendant in the driver's seat. The officer observed rear damage to the witness's motor vehicle. The witness stated the defendant was transported to the hospital. The officer observed heavy front damage to the defendant's motor vehicle, but no closed or open containers in his motor vehicle. The officer made contact with the defendant at Katy Memorial for Mental Hospital. The defendant stated that on March 8th, 2025 at 6 p.m. he was drinking at a friend's house. The defendant stated he drank until 4 a.m. the next morning. He admitted to driving under the influence, resulting in a major accident. The defendant...
Right here, we get a jaw-dropping admission. The defendant openly says he was drinking until 4 a.m., just 2 hours before the accident. Now think about that. In Texas, a blood alcohol concentration over 0.08% is enough for a DWI charge. This man blew nearly double that at 169. When you combine alcohol impairment with fatigue after drinking all night, you've got a recipe for disaster. Here's my question to you. Should admitting this much drinking up front make his case harder, or does honesty ever help a defendant in court? Drop your thoughts below.
Had visible scrapes and injuries on his face, arms, and legs. The officer observed the strong odor of alcohol upon his breath, red bloodshot eyes, and slurred speech. SFSTs were administered. 6 out of 6 were observed on the HGN. The walk and turn and one-leg stand could not be conducted due to injuries. IVs, and the defendant had IVs, and the defendant was wearing a neck brace. The nurse checked his vitals and ensured the defendant was in good health to be discharged from the hospital. The defendant was read the DIC and agreed to a breath test. The results were 0.166 and 0.169.
How long from the time of the accident to the time that he goes to the hospital? Is it immediate?
So I don't believe it states what time the accident occurred and what time he was transported to EMS, or transported to the hospital, but it's before the officers were able to arrive on scene and do an investigation of the accident.
He doesn't write down what time the accident is? Do you have the OR?
Been a lot of that going on lately in DIMS.
I don't understand who's writing these reports.
I don't know. I thought intake was supposed to improve on January 1st.
It's important to know how long it takes him to get to the hospital, right? And then I guess he's discharged immediately after he gets to the hospital. I mean, that can't be because he does, how long does it take to get into an emergency room? It takes forever. When I have a family member that goes to the hospital, it takes 12 hours just to get seen.
Yeah.
And then he goes and he blows a 16 after. I mean, I don't know. Look, I'll give you a little bit of time. Take a look to see.
And getting hopefully the office work cleared up. We don't have that back yet. Correct.
I just want to know that there's not a disconnect.
You can almost hear the judge's patience snapping. He flat out says, "I don't understand who's writing these reports." That's brutal, but he's right. Imagine being in charge of determining probable cause, and the report doesn't even have the accident time clearly logged. In a high-stakes case like DWI, missing information isn't just sloppy, it could mean the difference between conviction and dismissal. Judges hate gaps like this because it forces them to slow everything down. What do you think? Should officers be penalized for incomplete reports, or should defendants bear the risk of sloppy paperwork?
Like, it doesn't take 12 hours to get from here to here, because you know how long it takes to get to hospitals, and it's ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm going to put it on hold for now because we got to.
Just today or?
No. Later, like, I'll give him a couple, like maybe an hour or so. Do you have
Okay.
anywhere else to go?
I have plenty of places to go.
Yeah, I bet. So go do what you need to do. Come back. Let's revisit PC in a little bit, will you? Please?
Absolutely.
Okay. Take a seat from the jury box. Don't leave. Okay. Are you ready now, or do you want some time to look?
Can we have? Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Based upon offensive report on having an important stand here, and the DIM's report not having the information that they're seeking, I think at this time, probably cause finding is appropriate. However, it's my understanding that Chief Pace, since I trained him, will probably go and figure out all these facts and get it refiled correctly.
I wanted to give you a little bit of time. If, huh?
I'm going to contact the officer.
And we already
I didn't
have.
want to go that far. I wanted to just see what the report has.
And
Because you being able to go contact the officers a little bit just beyond this, because it's not fair to them. But what I'm looking for is how long it takes from the accident to get to the hospital, to see, is it him that's driving? Is he intoxicated at the time of driving? Because that's what it calls for, right? That's what we need to know. So if you can just take a look real quick, go do what you need to do, come back maybe like 45 minutes. I just want to know what the timing.
I was just going to suggest we already have a date of 4/14 that they can get this done in the interim and not have to scramble today with 50 other arrangements. That's all I was suggesting. But it's up to the court.
The OR, the timeline is not.
It's not in there.
for that.
They put any time in the OR?
The times that I have is that the witness said that they had been there since 6:30. Sorry, I don't know what that's about, but the only time that I have is that the blood sample was taken at
Breath right.
8.
He didn't write down what time the accident happened? Or what time he gets on the scene? There's gotta be something, Look at the MDTs, there's gotta be a time when
I'm looking at the wrong offense report, Judge. I apologize.
It's okay.
I do have, based on the accident report, the crash time was 5:50 in the morning. And I'm not seeing, don't have your honor, is I think it's time.
I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned what time he gets to the hospital.
Yeah.
Crash occurs at 5-something in the morning.
Okay.
Does it get to the-
Went into the emergency room at 7 a.m. So it's roughly about an hour.
Well, he gets admitted at 7 a.m.
Yes.
Okay, so we're about an hour and a half after the crash. What time does the officer get there? Start interviewing, do you know?
The crash is at 5:50 a.m. The officers transport the defendant in at 6, so 10 minutes later. And
They transport him to the hospital?
it's
Okay.
it's admitted into the emergency room.
What time does the officer get there to start the interview? Mr. Beadle, I just want to know that everything is in close proximity, because if he gets there, he starts interviewing like 12 hours later, I'm gonna have a problem.
And I think the DIMS will probably be supplemented appropriately. I know how much business you have today. I see all the arraignments here sitting in the audience. I think that they will get it done by the 14th of April, which is what I already have a date for. But I leave it to the court's discretion. I'm fairly certain it's not in there.
I don't see a time. It just needs to find out right with the hospital.
End of the blood draws, what time?
It is at
For the breath test, sorry.
Which is weird in and of itself, Judge, because they said he couldn't do the one leg stand or the walk and turn.
Because
But then they took him off to another location to do a breath test. It's just kind of weird.
It doesn't stay there.
you don't even have the time of the breath test?
And then comes the weird part. The defense points out how contradictory the reports are. First, the defendant supposedly couldn't do balance tests because of injuries. Yet somehow they managed to move him to another location for a breath test. The judge calls it weird, and honestly, it is. This kind of inconsistency can destroy credibility in front of a jury. Think about it. If the police mishandled something this simple, what else could they have overlooked? This is exactly the kind of moment defense attorneys live for.
It looks like we're looking at a bond. I was going to ask you that report, should we leave out to review it before we're on the page?
What do you think?
We have a date for the 14th. I'm sure they'll do it before
Okay.
then. His appearance is waived anyway, so he doesn't have to be here.
Okay, so,
Do you want to put some potential conditions on
No,
him,
I-
assuming? Okay,
so I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. Any prior DWIs? And valid license?
No prior DWIs and his driver's license is valid.
Okay, as long as you have valid liability insurance and a Texas driver license, you may continue to drive. But if you don't have car insurance, do not drive. It is a condition of your bond. Don't consume alcohol, don't use illegal drugs. Do you understand?
yes, Your Honor.
We'll leave your appearance while you're on bond in this court, but you must stay in touch with them. If they tell me they can't get a hold of you because you're ducking and dodging, or you pick up a new case, all bets off. I will put you in jail. You understand? Okay, I'll have you sign a reset with Victoria. We'll get you with Fleischer for your bond condition, then you're free to go. All right, Mr. Beadle, always a pleasure. Good Friday.
Have a great weekend.
You too.